Hi, in this video I'll show you the concept of indices and how to apply them in the exam. Step 1. Let's first look at the laws of indices. The first law, law 1 or law number 1, says that a to the power of m times a to the power of n is equals to a to the power of m plus n. Let's look at some examples. Example, a and m can be any value. So let's just choose z is equals to 2 times z is equals to 4. Since they have the same base, according to the laws of indices, since they have the same base, we'll add the powers. So this is 2 plus 4, and z to the power of 2 plus 4 is 2 to the power of 6. That's the first law. Second law, we can say that a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n. Since they have the same base, according to the law, we minus the power. This is a to the power of m minus n. Let's look at some examples. Let's say a be 2 to the power of 10 divided by 2 to the power of 2. Now I can also rewrite this as 2 to the power of 10 divided by 2 to the power of 2. They mean the same thing. Since we're dividing with the same base, we minus the power. So this is 2 to the power of 10 minus 2. That is equals to 2 to the power of 8. Let's look at the third law. A to the power of m raised to the power of n. According to the laws of indices, a power raised to another power, we multiply them. Let's look at some examples. Suppose we have x to the power of 3 raised to the power of 2. A power raised to another power, we multiply the power. 3 times 2 is x to the power of 6. Let's look at the fourth law. A to the power of ab to the power of m. Now there are two terms inside the bracket and raised to the power of m. According to the law, this power will be distributed. Now the second thing that we also need to note, that this a, since we are raising to the power, we need to define a as power of 1. Because there's no number here, we say it's a to the power of 1, b to the power of 1, to the power of m. If it's 2, we will show you it's 2. If it's 3, we will show you it's 3. But if there's no number there, then we say that it's a to the power of 1. Now since this power is raised to another power, this power will go to both of them. So we'll open the bracket and say that this is a to the power of m, b to the power of m. Let's look at some examples. Let's say 2x to the power of 3. So this power goes here and also here. So this is 2 to the power of 3 and x to the power of 3. And what is 2 to the power of 3? 2 to the power of 3 is 2 is multiplied to itself 3 times. So 2 to the power of 3 is same as 2 is multiplied to itself 3 times. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So this is 8x to the power of 3. Let's look at the fifth example of the fifth law. A over b raised to the power of m. Now, like I said, this is power and power. A power raised to another power, we can say that this is a to the power of m over b to the power of m. Let's look at some examples to it. A can be any value, b can be any value, and m can be any value. So let's say 2 over 5 raised to the power of 2. So these 2 will go to both of them. So this is 2 to the power of 2 over 5 to the power of 2. And what is 2 to the power of 2? So 2 to the power of 2 is the same as 2 times 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So this is 4 over 5 squared. 5 squared is 5 times 5. And 5 to 5 is 25. And this is 25. Let's look at the sixth law. A to the power of negative 1. Now anything that is written like this, it's always over 1. Example, 3 or 4 or 5 in terms of fraction is over 1. So anything or a whole number is written as a whole number in terms of fraction is over 1. So a to the power of negative 1, this is raised to over 1, sorry, it's over 1. Now I wanna make this power positive. So if I wanna make that power positive, then I need to reciprocal this. They change. This process is called reciprocal. So I need to reciprocal that. That would be 1 over a. This time it's a positive one. Let's look at one example. Suppose we have 2 to the power of negative 3. Now this is over 1, literally. I want to make this power positive. So what I do is, in order for it to be positive, I'll reciprocal it. So that is equal to 1 over 2. This time around my power will be positive. The seventh law says that a to the power of b raised to the power of negative m. Now a over b raised to the power of negative m. Now I want to make this power positive. How can I do that? According to the law, in order for you to make this power positive, same process, I'll reciprocal this. So this is equal to b over a to the power of, now it's positive m. Let's look at some example. Suppose we have 4 over 5 raised to the power of negative 2. Now my power is negative, so what should I do? I want to make my power positive. I'll reciprocal this. So this is 5 over 4 raised to the power of 2. And according to the law 5, it says that this power goes to both of them. So this is 5 squared over 4 squared, and 5 squared is 25 over 4 squared is 16. We need to simplify to the value that we cannot further simplify. Okay, your last law is a to the power of m over n. That is equal to, this n is the nth root of a. And how can we write it? We're finding the nth root of a, and this m is raised to the power of m. A to the power of m. Let's look at one example. Suppose we have 5 to the power of 3 over 4. This is equal to, I'm taking the fourth root of 5, so fourth root of 5, and 5 is raised to the power of 3. These are the concepts or the general law of indices that we will apply in the exam in most cases. Let's look at some exam type question. Let's go on to step 2. Step 1 is identifying all your laws. Now let's go on to step 2. Step 2 is applying exam type questions in our laws. So let's write down what are our exam questions. Okay, let's look at FSLC 2024 paper. That is strand 1 on basic mathematics. Question number 1. Question number 1 says, find the product of m to the power of 6 times m to the power of 2. This is question number 1 in FSLC 2024 paper. So we need to find the product. Step 3 is applying step 2 in step 1. So we need to identify which law falls into this. Since they have the same base, which law applies to this? I think the first law. So the first law states that a to the power of m times a to the power of m, n, the powers get to multiplied when they have the same base. Since they have the same base, 6 to the m to the power of 6 times m to the power of 2, since they have the same base, we'll add the powers. M to the power of 6 plus 2, that is m to the power of 8. Let's look at second question. This is FSLC 2024 question 2. Question 2 says, simplify 3 to the power of 2x over 3 to the power of x. Now we need to first identify which law does this apply to. So I think we apply the second law here. So this is same as 3 to the power of 2x. Since they are dividing, we minus the power, minus x, and this x, since there's no number written in here, we say that this x is 1. So this is 3 to the power of 2x minus 1x, and 3x minus 1x, 2 apple minus 1 apple, since they are like terms, 2 apple minus 1 apple is 1 apple. That is your answer. The third question in strand 1 in 2024 paper FSLC. Question is simplify 4 to the power of 5x over 2 to the power of x. Now, how can we solve this? Now, something that you need to note, that I cannot simplify these because they have a different base. I need to first convert 4 to 2 so that they can have the same base, so I can apply the second formula, because the second formula says the condition is they have to have the same base. Now let's convert. 2 to the power of what gives you 4? 2 to the power of 2 gives you 4, but this 4 is raised to the power of 5x. So we raise it up to 5x over 2 to the power of x. Now, what do you understand about a power raised to another power? That's for law number 3. A power raised to another power, we multiply the power. So this is 2 to the power of 2 times 5x over 2 to the power of x. Now simplify. This is 2 to the power of 2 times 5 is 10x over 2 to the power of x. So since we're dividing, we minus the power. This is 2 to the power of 10x minus x is equals to 2 to the power of 9x. That's the equations that we are solving right now. Let's look at 2023 paper. So this is FSLC 2023 paper. Strand 1, question number 1. Simplify 2m to the power of 3 raised to the power of 2. For this question, we would apply law number 4, that its value or its power will be raised to its value. So it will go there. So this is same as 2 to the power of 2 and m to the power of 3 times 2, since a power raised to another power. This is same as 2 to the power of 2 is 2 times 2 is 4, m, 3 times 2 is 6. So our answer is 4m to the power of 6. Question indices in 2023 paper, question number 4, says that simplify p to the power of x over p to the power of x. Now in this question, we'll apply law number 2. So this is p to the power of 3x. Since this is 1 and we're dividing, we minus the power, 1x. So this is p to the power of 3x minus 1x, that is the same as, since they are like terms, 3 apple minus 1 apple is 2 apple, in our case is 2 apple. Let's look at another question in 2023 paper, that is question number 6. Solve. Now when they tell you solve, this is all simplify. Your answers can be in simplified form, but when they give you, or whenever they ask you to solve 3 to the power of 2x equal to 27, Now, when they ask you to solve, that means you need to find the value of x, like x equal to what. Now, in this case, we'll try and solve it using the same approach. Since it's indices, we need to convert both into the same base. This is a base of 3 and this is 27. Now I need to convert this 27 to have the same base. I can solve this question in two approaches. One using indices, and the second approach is using logarithm. Now the opposite of indices is logarithm. Like opposite of plus is minus, opposite of times is divide, opposite of indices is logarithm. So we can solve this question in two approaches. Only in this question we can solve it in two approaches, using indices or using logarithm. Now let's have a look at this. I can only solve this as this. So this is 3 to the power of 2x is equals to, I know that 3 is 9, 9 3 is 27, so this is 3 to the power of 3. Now since they have the same base, I can consider the powers. So this is 2x is equals to 3. I want to find x. Divide by 2, divide by 2, this cancels out. X is equals to 3 over 2. And that's your answer. I hope that will help you in preparing for the exam. We'll use the same concept. In answering past year paper. Let's look at 2022 paper. So let's look at FSLC 2022 paper. Question number 3 on strand 1. Simplify a to the power of 2 raised to the power of 3. Now, a power raised to another power. How can we solve that? So we'll use the third law. A power raised to another power. We multiply the power. So this is 2 to the power of a to the power of 2 times 3, and a to the power of 2 times 3 is 6. And that's your answer. Also, it's question number 4 in the same paper. Question is saying simplify 3 to the power of 3x over 3 to the power of x. Concept is the same. Since they have the same base, we'll subtract the powers. So this is 3 to the power of 3x minus x. Now in front here is 1, so 3 to the power of 3x minus x is the same as 3 to the power of 3 apple minus 1 apple is 2 apple. And that is your answer. We look at question. There is another question in 2002 paper. I'll cover this up. That is question number 6. 2 to the power of x plus 1 is equals to 8. Now we'll use the same approach here as we have done it here. Since we cannot multiply, we'll convert it to be the same base. So in this case, I'll need to convert this 8 to have the same base. So this is 2 to the power of x plus 1 is equals to 2 to the power of 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So it's 2 to the power of 3. Now since they have the same base, I'll consider the power. Since they have the same base, we'll consider the power. So this is x plus 1 is equals to 3. Now we need to solve. Find for x. So anything that is taken from the left to the right, we use opposite operation. So plus 1 take to the other side would be minus 1. This cancels out. X is equals to 3 minus 1 is 2. And 2 is your answer. Let's check. Take these two, plug it in here. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. Last year paper, let's look at 2024 paper. FSLC 2021 paper. Question number 1. Simplify m to the power of 8 divided by m to the power of 4. Now, since they have the same base, and since they're dividing, we'll minus the power. So this is m to the power of 8 minus 4, and m to the power of 8 minus 4. What is 8 minus 4? That is m to the power of 4. Same paper. In question 2, in question 4, question is saying simplify 2 to the power of 3x times 2 to the power of x. Now since we are multiplying with the same base, we will consider the powers. So this is 2 to the power of 3x plus x. Since they are multiplying, we add the powers for slow. This is 2 to the power of 3 apple plus 1 apple is 4 apple. That is 2 to the power of 4x. Let's look at the last exercise just to make us understand the concept well. Let's look at FSLC 2020 paper. Question number 4 in 2020 paper. Simplify and solve 2 to the power of x plus 1 is equals to 4. Same approach here. So this is 2 to the power of x plus 1 is equals to, I need to convert this 4 into 2, so I'll say 2 to the power of 2 gives me 4. So we'll need to simplify since they have the same base. Since they have the same base, I'll consider the powers. So this is x plus 1 is equals to 2. Same approach, I want to find x. I'll take this positive 1 on the other side, plus 1, take the other side would be, using opposite operation, would be minus 1. So this is x is equals to 2 minus 1 is 1. Let's check. Take this one, plug it in here. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. And our last question, that is in question number 6. Question 6. That is in question 6. 9 to the power of x over 3 to the power of x. Now, we're dividing. That is the same as 9 to the power of x divided by 3 to the power of x. I cannot divide because they have a different base. According to the law, you can only divide if they have the same base. So I need to convert these to have the same base. So this is I need to convert 9 to be 3, and 3 to the power of what gives you 9? 3 to the power of 2 gives you 9, and this 9 is raised to the power of x. Divide by 3 to the power of x. Now, a power raised to another power, we multiply according to the third law. So this is 3 to the power of 2x divided by 3 to the power of x. According to the law, if we have the same base and divided, the power is subtracted. So let's subtract the power. So this is 3 to the power of 2x minus x. That is same as 3 to the power of 2 apple minus 1 apple is 1 apple. That brings us to the end of our indices lesson. Now, in most cases, many students fail to apply this concept in the exam. It's very important to first identify which of these laws you can apply to the questions that you are solving in the exam. Thank you.